Welcome to the Outdoor Genetics Podcast. Whether this is your first time tuning in or you've been following us from the beginning, we are glad that you're here. Outdoor Genetics is proudly sponsored by Chum Bums. Chum Bums is an outdoor adventure community and is owned and operated by military vets and promotes conservative American values. There's no paid advertisements on this social media platform. They never sell or own your data, and you can create your own private group within this secured platform. Chum Bums is an outdoor adventure community where you can shop discounted products in the members-only outlet store and book an adventure with one of their adventure partners. These groups are truly designed for the outdoorsman. Guys, make sure to check out Chum Bums. That's CHUMBUMZ. All right, guys, welcome to the Outdoor Genetics Podcast, take 2. I failed on my first attempt there to get things rolling. But anyways, guys, we are here with a special guest over in Florida. We have Festus with us here today. Festus, man, thanks for jumping on here with us.
Hey, I appreciate you inviting me. It's great to be able to talk to fellow outdoorsmen that share the same goals and perspectives. But you forgot to tell them that I'm out in the middle of the woods somewhere in the Florida Panhandle.
That's right. You know what? I did that on the first take, and I messed up by not recording everything like I was supposed to, and I didn't say it on the second take. But that's right. Yeah, somewhere out in the middle of the woods, out in the middle of Florida Panhandle.
That's it. You know, and everybody always says, you know, you say that, but then when they actually show up at my house, they're like, oh, hell, you are really out in the middle of the woods.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I'm telling you, I don't necessarily live out in the middle of the woods. I'm actually technically inside city limits, but it's one of those things when I step right across the street, I'm outside of city limits. But I do get a little jealous of y'all that are actually out there in the middle of the sticks, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry for you, but that's okay. Not everybody can do it.
That's right. Man, for our listeners, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, your history? I know we've talked a little bit about it, but, you know, let everybody hear it.
Well, I'm originally from South Florida. I grew up in a little horse town called Davie. And back in the day, in the 60s and 70s, it was just that. A lot of orange groves, grapefruit groves, a lot of horse riding. My mom and dad used to ride horses. So I grew up down there, but I mean, we were right near Fort Lauderdale in Miami, and you know, it was great, but we were out in the country. And then when I got a little older, we moved up to Georgia for a little while, and then we finally wound up back home in Florida in Naples. And Naples wasn't much back then when we lived there, and it's a booming place now. But after I graduated high school, something told me to join the military. So when I joined the Army, and I just thought I was going to do a little 4-year stint, maybe get some college money. But 26 years later, I found myself getting ready to retire. So I gave 26 years of my life to the Army, and it was an honor and a blessing to be able to train and lead America's sons and daughters. And then when I retired in 2010, which, man, it's 12 years since I've been out of the military, I worked as a government contractor for Lockheed Martin, training soldiers for almost another 10 years. And then I called it quits, and I don't work anymore. But, you know, the ride was good. And then I'm sitting down here trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And, you know, I think God gave me a calling to serve my country. And all of a sudden, my next calling was take care of veterans, disabled vets, and disabled children. And that's pretty much what I've dedicated myself to doing now. I'm always doing something to help veterans or disabled children.
Man, and I'm telling you what, that is admirable. And for our listeners out there, if y'all don't know who this guy is, when he says he does a lot to help them and serve them, this guy goes over and beyond on that aspect. And it's on my end, it's been incredible. Getting to know you, but watch your stuff, man. I mean, y'all are constantly going and doing.
Yeah, I could honestly say right now it's sort of like a lull in the action. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it is as far as putting hunts together and things like that. But the behind-the-scenes work, we just finished a big event at the beginning of May, and we're already starting to work on getting sponsors and donations and everything for the events we have coming up in December and January and again in next May. So it's a never-ending cycle, and that's just with one of the groups. I work with several nonprofits, and I try to affect as many vets as I can. And it's a never-ending cycle.
Sure.
So and there's so many more aspects to what we're trying to do, as you can imagine, and none of this is possible anyway without great Americans that donate and become sponsors and help out. And there's just so many of them. I couldn't even list them all if I had to, and I had the time right now.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. For people wanting to get involved with you, talking about donating and becoming a sponsor, who would they need to reach out to, and what courses of action would they need to take?
Well, to be honest with you, we put a lot of events on. The easiest way to become a sponsor or to donate, you can follow me on Facebook. It's Festus Pote, and it's the Hunter's Review. I usually have a picture of my grandbaby up for my profile pic, so it's easy to find me. And then you can just contact me. I work as a veteran coordinator for the Ironman Outdoor Ministries, the Gulf Coast chapter. And we put on children's events, veterans events, and then we just had the big fishing trip that we put on down in Orange Beach, Alabama, and we took over 100 vets offshore fishing. We had 3 90-foot charter boats. We had about 7 or 8 smaller boats that carried anywhere from 4 to 5 or 6 people out. The vets get to show up on a Thursday. They check into free lodging. They go to a banquet on Thursday night. They're fed. There's a live concert. There's silent auctions. There's giveaways. We gave away a 5.56 lead slinger.
Yeah.
And it was donated by a great American, Russ Jackson, up in Pennsylvania. He runs Marksman's for Vets, and he brought that down, and all the.
Oh, I lost you there, Festus.
The vets showed up down
there
at
you
the
are.
harbor.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Sorry, we had lost you there for a second.
Yeah, so where do you think you lost me at?
You had just said he was it was given to y'all by another great American.
Yeah, Russ Jackson, Marksman for Vets out of Pennsylvania, came down to attend the annual Heroes on the Gulf fishing trip. He was a Navy guy. Mm-hmm. Navy guys need love, so there's no harm, no foul with Navy guys. But he brought a 5.56 lead slinger that he built, and he donated it to the Ironman Outdoor Ministry, the Gulf Coast chapter. And all the money raised from that raffle went back to the Ironman to help fund future events. And I will tell you, everybody was speculating what we would get. And I initially we raised about $4,700, but that was only in cash donations. We didn't count credit card receipts. So we probably raised close to $7,000 on that lead slinger.
Wow.
And, it's amazing. And we probably took in, I don't know, maybe $30,000 to $35,000 after we cleared all our bills and expenses to be able to fund future events. So it was a great big success. And like I said, we got 100 vets out on an offshore fishing trip all day, and they caught over 500 fish. So everybody got to take fish home. Man. And then when they showed back up at the docks, man, they got to eat. There was food there and everything, and everybody got to spend the night or go on their way. It was up to them.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm sure there's a feeling of, man, just I guess a humbling feeling on getting to do something that great.
I will tell you, it is very humbling. And let me give you a little background. Everybody always sees me in a mask and like, why is this guy wearing a mask? Well, look, I did serve my country for a long time. I'm not afraid of who I am, but the bottom line is I'm doing this because I don't need any recognition. Sure. All glory goes to God. And nobody really knows my real name. There's a handful of people that do, and nobody really knows what I look like. And it started off as a joke, and it kind of took a life of its own. Now, I will tell you that at the fishing trip, I wore a different mask all night long for the duration of the event.
Uh-huh.
And on that Friday when we showed up down at the dock, I was able to take my mask off and allow people to see what I really look like.
Uh-huh.
So that was pretty good.
I bet it
But
came to
I
us
just
as a shock to some of those people.
yeah, it does. And I just ask people, hey, do me a favor if you can. If you take any pictures of me without a mask on, just don't share it with anybody because everybody always tells me they want to keep the suspense going. So
Yeah.
it's just become a way of life with me and doing this stuff. But going back to your main point about being humbling, I will tell you, we have vets coming out there with serious PTSD issues.
Mm-hmm.
We have amputees coming out there. I mean, we have vets from all walks of life and all branches of service. And we had vets coming from all over the United States. It wasn't just local to Florida or Alabama. We had vets from PA. We had vets from South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Arizona, Oregon, Las Vegas, Nevada. So we had vets coming from everywhere to attend this, and it's really great. And to see them smile and enjoy themselves and hang out with fellow veterans and share their experiences is just an amazing and refreshing feeling. But the real reward for me is not just with the vets, it's with the disabled children.
Right.
I got a little buddy that I always talk to. His name is Colton. And little Colton, he has been dealing with spinal bifida for a while.
Mm.
And this little kid is larger than life. He's in a wheelchair, but he is a wild man. He just goes nonstop. He's always got a smile on his face. He's had like 42 surgeries, and he's due for another one, but he always smiles,
Man.
and he doesn't let life drag him down. So when you as a vet show up and you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with, and then you see this young man going through what he's gone through, and he still has a smile on his face, and he's larger than life, your problems seem very small. And to see a smile on these kids' faces, I'm telling you, it is just it's an amazing feeling.
You and I had talked a little bit earlier before the show, and it was giving me goosebumps to hear you talk about it. And even now, like I'm getting goosebumps because that is such. I mean, in a world packed full of drama and negativity, to hear something so positive it's almost a rarity nowadays.
Right.
And that is just, I could definitely see where that specifically talking about him, like you said, it just makes your problems kind of seem like, oh, my problems aren't nothing, like, holy cow, who am I?
Yeah,
what I mean?
it is. And another way to experience that, and it's not for the faint of heart, believe me, because a lot of people are very apprehensive about stepping through that door and dealing with disabled children or special needs kids.
Sure.
Is if you ever get a chance to go down to Memphis, Tennessee, Danny Thomas was a great American that founded St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it's like nowadays to be able to go in, but I will tell you that if you can get in there and experience those kids that are going through what they're going through, and they got a smile on their face, it's crazy. It's an emotion you just can't talk about. It's just something that you have to feel.
Right. I mean, and I'm sure it is. I mean, I think a lot of times too, it doesn't get seen enough. And for somebody like you, I mean, you wear the mask so that you don't take the gratification, like you said, all the glory goes to God. And the fact that you're willing to say, look, I'm legitimate. I don't want nothing. All I want to do is just be able to be a part and extend a hand and reach out and do what I have been called to do. And that is such,
exactly.
I think it's underseen nowadays. I don't think I know you're not asking for the recognition, but just the idea of getting the word out there that it's needed. There is a realm here where that is needed. People need to do that, and I think you stepping up to the plate, or I say y'all's groups, because you're a part of multiple groups that do this.
Yeah, that's correct. I work with several 501c3s, and not just dealing with military vets, but dealing with disabled children as well.
Yeah. I think that's just awesome, and like I said, I think the message needs to get out there more that there are groups, because I'm sure people think about it, but maybe they've never even heard of how to get started in it or anything like that. So that is incredible. So what would you say is like one of your most memorable trips? Just that one trip that when somebody says, "Hey, what is the most memorable trip?" What is the first one that comes to your head?
I will tell you last year's disabled children's hunt that I went on, that I worked, I should say, with the Ironmen. Uh, we held up in Elba, Alabama on the Brunson farm. And Matt Brunson is a great American. He has an 1,800-acre farm up there, and he allowed the Ironmen to come up there and do a children's hunt. And we had several children with special needs and disabilities. And Colton is always the life of the party, don't get me wrong. But I had a younger guy. He was, I don't know, probably 12, maybe 13. I might be off a little bit. His name was Aiden. And he was born with a half of an arm.
Mm.
And he got out to go deer hunting, and he killed his first deer.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Nice.
video of him sitting there shaking and crying, and then his father was crying, is just amazing. And then right after that, another deer stepped out, so he wound up shooting two deer. So it was just like, I think they had about 6 or 7 inches of water inside the blind with them because they were crying so much from excitement and shaking. But I mean, that was one that was amazing. But on the other hand, there was a young lady from the western side of Arkansas, and she has had several brain cancer surgeries. And she came down and she dropped a nice deer as well. And it's just amazing to see what's going on with these kids. And I mean, a lot of the organizations that we work with, they have devices like a huff and puff that you set up on a gun. And if the child can't pull the trigger, they just got to blow on it and it
Right.
fires for them.
That is awesome.
And, we provide track chairs for disabled children. We have them available so they can get out in the wilderness. It's just an amazing, amazing thing.
Man, there's a part of me that is so just awestruck. I guess is a good way to put it. Awestruck, and I don't try to. I don't try to make it sound like I am like saying, "Oh, you're better than everybody else," or "Everybody else is better." I don't try to do that because I know we're all human. We all have different callings. But I still look at that in straight up admiration. I mean, that's an incredible thing that y'all reach out and do. Being able to watch somebody taking, especially for their first time, being able to watch a child take their first animal is an exciting experience that I'm fortunate enough to have been a part of. But I wouldn't, for me personally, say that is my calling. But the fact that you've turned around and you've gone over and beyond, and you get to be a part of your calling like that, and your calling is literally impacting and changing lives. That's incredible.
Well, I guess I'm just blessed and lucky that I can do what I'm doing. Uh, I can't say anything more than just I'm blessed to be able to do it, and I'm blessed to be associated with people that I've never met before through Facebook that have donated and helped out and came down and volunteered. We have a country full of great Americans, and once they get out and get a taste, and like I said, apprehension is a lot with some folks because they don't know how they're going to handle dealing with a disabled child or a child with special needs or even a disabled veteran. But once they get a taste of it, it's over. It's like the first time you ever take a deer, or the first time you take a turkey, or the first time you rip some lips and pull a bass out of the water. Once you get that taste, boy, you can't get enough of it.
And then I guess at that point, then it's just a labor of love, huh?
That's it. And I am truly blessed to have a wonderful wife, Mrs. Festus, and she supports it. She goes with me, and she's all about helping. And I guess that's just something that the two of us have been able to work out, being together for 37 years.
Right, right. Man, I'm telling you. So y'all been together 37 years, and she's put up with it for so long. She's got to be a wonderful woman herself.
Well, I will tell you she is, and I always tell people that I'll never win the lottery. I buy tickets to try to win, but I'm never going to win it, because when I found her, that was my winning lottery ticket. And if you can only win it once in your life, me winning with her is all I ever need.
You know what? I totally agree with that. I always tell everybody, when I win the lottery, you'll know it, because I'm that guy that's gonna disappear out of here, and I'm gonna go set up this huge area. I have like a huge dream. I'm not gonna get off onto it right now, but I have a huge dream for a big property, and what I want to be able to set up on that property for people. And I've always said, if you ever just notice I just disappear, you'll know that I'm off somewhere buying land. That's how you know I've won the lottery. But I don't ever play the lottery to win it. But
right.
But I do agree, having a good woman there, a good spouse behind you, pushing you every step of the way, and being a part of that life is something that's gold. That is just, I don't think it gets any better.
No, it doesn't. I'm gonna tell you, it makes going hunting and fishing and going to all these events a whole lot easier, because you don't have to worry about fighting about it.
Sure.
It's just like, where we going next? Let's load up and go.
Right. Well, and I've been very fortunate with Michelle, my wife. She's pretty much the same way with me. Anytime I've wanted to go on some kind of adventure or do something, travel to go hunting or fishing, she's like, well, all right, I guess we're going to figure out what we need to do to save up this much money, and we're going to go do it. And I've been blessed to be have that in my life.
Well, you know what? If you want to, and I can tell you, all you got to do is drop down out of Oklahoma, come on down to Festus land. I got a big place here, and I'm about 35 minutes from the beach too. So not only can we be in the woods, we can go to the beach for lunch and be back in time to sit for the evening.
Hey, now that sounds like a good time, and don't threaten me with a good time, because I'm liable to take you up on it.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, and that's one thing that I do here at my place. I don't have a lot of land. I've got 20 acres that I own, but I have a 40-acre tract next to me that I can hunt, and I got 20 on my other side that I'm allowed to hunt, plus another 250 behind me that I have access to hunt. And then I'm also tied into a 800-acre lease about 30 minutes down the road, and I invite vets to come out to my house. We usually do like a little raffle, and I have anywhere from 2 to 4 vets a year come out to my place to hunt. And I don't know these people. I just talk to them. And then they come to my house, they stay here, I feed them, they're put up, and then they get to hunt. And I don't hunt on my place when they're hunting. They have exclusive rights to hunt any spot on my place or the 40 next to me. And I'll hunt somewhere else down the road away from them, so they have exclusive rights to all the stands.
Sure.
So that way they pick where they want to hunt. And if they don't kill something, it's not my fault.
Well, that's one way, yeah.
Yeah, because I can always say, you pick that stand. So
right. Yeah, if you was to tell them, hey, this is the stand you need to be in, and then nothing shows up,
Earlier this year, I had a guy come out of Central Florida. His name is Boog Landfair, and I never met Boog. Talked to him a few times on the phone. Well, he came up to hunt, and it happened to be in like 19 degrees up here. Yeah, it does get a little chilly up here where I'm at. But he hunted hard, and they weren't moving, and they were at a different location. He was at one stand, they were at a different stand. Every time he'd switch, that was up. So he come in the house, I think it was that Sunday morning. He'd been hunting Friday night, Saturday. Come in Sunday morning from the hunt, and we had some breakfast, and we're sitting in the living room, and I looked out the front window, and I'll be darned if there wasn't a nice buck standing 40 yards off the front porch. So he didn't have time to go to his truck and get his gun. I just handed him my 25-06,
Uh-huh.
And he went out the back of the house and walked around the corner of the house and shot the buck right in the front yard after sitting out there for 2.5 days not killing anything. So it made it easier. We didn't have to go searching too far, and we didn't have to drag him too far. Just throw him in the bucket of the tractor and take him back to the barn and string him up. So
Right.
we've had some pretty good luck with the vets coming out here, and like I said, I don't have to know you. I could talk to you, and if we treat each other, we respect each other's places, how we are, then everything's going to be fine.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I don't mind doing that, and it's always a good thing. And like I said, you're more than welcome. Bring your wife, heck, bring your kids. I don't care. Come on down, and if you want to stay the weekend and go to the beach and hunt, you can, or whatever you want to do.
Man, that actually sounds like a good time, and I guarantee you. See, here's what's going to happen: is here in a little while when we're done, I'm going to go tell my wife about
Yeah.
this, and she's going to be like, "So are we going tomorrow?" She's going to be
Well,
pumped.
I tell you, man, it's a great time of the year right now. It's warm, so we're not going to do any hunting.
Right,
But I tell you what, the beach ain't far.
right, right. Oh, she'll
So
she'll be excited for that. She loves going. She's been to Florida a few times, but just really being over there, I think, is what does it for her. It's a vacation type feel and that kind of thing.
right.
She absolutely loves it, man. But yeah,
But I
I
do know some.
certainly.
I know some folks. We've got some charter boats. We can go out and catch some snapper and grouper. It is season right now, so we can do some saltwater fishing.
Now we're okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I'm.
yeah,
I'm trying to see. I'm trying to look. I'm trying to pull up my calendar so I can be like, hey, I need to look at what time I need to be taking off of work.
yeah. I got you. Yeah, but it's easy, and I mean, heck, we go right down the road and do some freshwater fishing too. There's plenty of that around here as well.
Right. Well, going back to talking about, some of y'all's hunts. So, I know y'all have done, I mean, you said you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah,
Um,
long enough.
since you basically been out of the military, it sounds like.
Right.
And, so I'm sure y'all have had several of those humbling trips. What about something that was just exciting? Just one where everybody was jacked and pumped up. What's a trip that y'all had that was like that?
Wow, you're gonna make me think about that one, huh? I will tell you, there's so many of them because people just get fired up when they're going to do it. We've had we've had some great disabled vet hunts, the disabled children's hunts. All the kids were ready to go. Um, One of the organizations that I try to help out up here in South Georgia, in Donaldsonville, Georgia, is a 501, and they're called Beards for Benefits. And Clay Armstrong, aka Poodoo, he started that organization, and getting to see the banquet that's put on by these guys a couple weeks before the hunt, and then being able to go to the hunt and see the excitement in the building with the 20 disabled children and the 20 disabled vets and the giveaways and the things that are raised and given away. I'm going to tell you, it is such an amazing feeling. And, you just can't wait to get out there and chase some thunder chickens. But
Yeah.
these guys put on a heck of an event. They held the banquet. He's got a massive, massive place that is absolutely gorgeous. And I think they raised, I want to say, around $120,000. And every penny of that money goes back to the kids and to the vets. They gave
That.
away they gave away several scholarships. They gave away guns. They gave away duck hunting trips, fishing trips. They donated a track chair to a young lady that needed it so she could get outside and experience, the outdoors, because you can't do it in a regular wheelchair. You need something that can handle terrain.
Right.
Uh, and it's just amazing to see the people come out and support that. And the National Wildlife Turkey Federation is a big sponsor with those guys. And to see what they do at the banquet and raise money was absolutely incredible. Now, I got to go to the banquet. I didn't go to the banquet to eat. I unfortunately was in the hospital. I had a procedure, and I got out of the hospital and I showed up to the banquet when I didn't know if I was supposed to be. I, and I just showed up, took some pictures, and I wound up leaving. But the actual hunt that took place a couple weeks later was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And there's plenty of people that attended that can attest to that. And the sheer excitement of both groups, the vets and the children teaming up. And what they do is they pair a disabled vet with a disabled child, and they go out and hunt together.
Oh, wow.
So it combines the best of both worlds. And there was a lot of turkeys taken this year.
I bet, I mean, I can sit here and talk about turkey hunting, but you've captivated me here on the idea of hooking up with a disabled vet and a vet and a disabled child coming together, right? Yeah. That is like, it's tugging at my heartstrings, man. I bet you that is some seriously powerful get-togethers.
Well, I would tell you that if you were able to talk to this great American poodoo, Clay Armstrong, who started this Beards for Benefits, Clay was in a serious accident at his work, and he was burned, I think, on like 90% of his body.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on the outs, feeling down and sorry for himself. And, I'm not going to say that he was thinking about checking out, but, it's very possible that he was. And then he got to hunt with a disabled child that had been going through multiple surgeries and issues. And he was like, man, what do I have to complain about?
Right.
And that child pairing up with that veteran is amazing. And they have impacted so many veterans by pairing them up with disabled children. It's amazing.
Man, that's powerful stuff. I mean, that is incredibly powerful. I mean, and I'm just curious. You said that's Beards for Benefit?
Beards for Benefits, yes, sir.
Beards for Benefits.
And they are on Facebook. It's B4B. But, yeah, Beards for Benefits, you can look them up and follow them. They're amazing. They do some amazing work, and they have some great partners.
Oh, we lost you there, bud. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, it shows that you're muted. We're going to get this back and going here in just a second, guys. All right, right there where it says your name, Festus, if you'll push it, it should unmute you.
No, I wasn't on mute.
There it goes.
Yeah, but I lost your voice feed completely.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I started pushing buttons trying to get us back. I had to disconnect and reconnect.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, we got you back now, so that's good.
So I think we were talking about Beards for Benefits with Poodoo, but
yes,
they got some great guys that partner up with them and help out. Mm-hmm. And one of them is named Derek Fussell, and Derek Fussell runs a 501c3 called Camo Dreams. And he's located in Panama City, and he focuses on disabled children. And he puts in a lot of hard work, and he works for the Florida Fish and Game Commission. He's one of their biologists, and he does some amazing work with his charity taking care of kids. We're talking they fly them all across the country and take care of them, and they don't have to pay for anything. These kids get to go all out.
Oh, man.
Right.
So, you're a part of, and I know I said it earlier, but you're a part of several different organizations. How many of these are you actually a part of? Can you put a number on it?
Okay, let's start from the top here. The Ironman Outdoor Ministries Gulf Coast chapter, I'm their veteran coordinator. So I coordinate all veterans that go on any events or trips with them. I clear them because they do a lot of disabled vet trips, not just veteran trips. So one of the requirements is somebody with a disability. So I do all that work for their hunting trips, for their fishing trips, and then I work with them on the disabled children trips, and I get kids from all around the United States to go on these events with them as well. Area of Operations Incorporated is a veterans organization, and I'm on the board with them, so I work with them as well. The Fallen Outdoors is a large veterans organization, probably the biggest one that I work with, and I'm a pro staffer for those guys, and I handle the Florida Panhandle in southern Alabama. So I'm kind of like a tweener. I'm 30 minutes from the beach, but I'm 30 minutes, if that, not even 30 minutes from the Alabama state line. So they really didn't have somebody up here working this end of the state and the lower part of Bama. So I fill in the gaps and help those guys out there.
Right.
And I work, like I said, with trying to compile a list of options for hunting and fishing and all of that. There's another group called Veterans Hunting and Fishing Network, and I'm part of the Alabama team. I'm not a staff member or anything, but I do work with their state lead and helping veterans get out and about. Then you have Beers for Benefits. I help as needed. I'll help out with Camo Dreams if Derek needs a hand there. And I mean, I can't even. And there's another great one, and I can't forget this guy here. He's down in Florida, and he started a 501c3 called X22.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm not part of his staff or anything. I consider him a friend. I never met Steve Cohn, but I will tell you what Steve does is an amazing thing. X22 is dedicated to helping veterans. The number 22 is significant when you're talking to somebody that was in the military, because the number 22 stands for the number of veterans that commit suicide every day.
Mm.
So X22 is an organization that's set up to try to help out these vets and keep them from deciding to go down a route that they don't need to go down. And since we're talking about that, the month of June is post-traumatic stress disorder month, PTSD. And again, it ties back into we're losing 22 veterans a day. And if we can knock that down by one or two at a time, that'd be an amazing thing.
Absolutely.
We just can't afford to. Yeah, we can't afford to lose these guys. They did a great service for their country.
Yeah.
But things happen in war. I suffer from PTSD. I can go 0 to 60 in a snap of the fingers. I try not to. I try to relax as much as I can, but sometimes I just can't stop it. The Fallen Outdoors just started a new initiative for the 22 a month, and they're trying to raise awareness as much as they can as well. All organizations are.
Sure.
And there's another group out there, and I'm not on a staff or anything with those guys, but I try to help out if I can, is Hunting with Soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many organizations out there that are doing great things, and I can't even name all the ones that are out there doing stuff, to be honest with you.
Right.
But they're out there, and they can make a difference if we recognize somebody that needs help and we can get help to them. For example, we had a young lady that went on our fishing trip, really nice young lady, and I talked to her a couple times on the phone. She came out for the trip, and she was going through some real hard times, and I just had a feeling that she needed somebody to talk to, and I'm there to talk to her. But what I did was I got with the director of the Gulf Coast chapter for the Ironmen and his number 2 guy, Greg Godwin, and Rick, and they made a phone call to this veteran, and they prayed for her over the phone. And sometimes that's all it takes to help somebody stay with us.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to say that. I'm not saying she was going down that route, but she needed some comforting. She needed some good words. And the Ironmen are always there, 24 hours a day. If any vet needs help, they can contact me, and I'll get those guys on the phone to talk to you. I mean, I'm willing to talk to you too. I mean, I served 26 years. I've seen quite a bit of stuff.
Right.
I'm not a doctor, but I've been through just a few things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it's all about: being able to help these guys out and make sure that they're safe.
Right. Well, and I'm going to tell you, no, I've never gone. I personally have never gone through any of that. You know, I don't. I've never been through that. But as a human, kind of like I said earlier, it pulls on my heartstrings because I look at that and I'm like, man, that is truly a labor of love. That is truly compassion. You know, people. There's groups of people out there willing to go so far into the idea of, no, you're, like you said, you may not be a doctor, but I'm here for you. I've been there. You might not want to go see a psychiatrist or whatever, but I'm here for you. It doesn't matter what time of day. Call me or I can call you. Y'all step up and y'all are a stronghold for people that, you know, everybody else might look at and say, oh, those people are fine, but y'all are still that stronghold for the people that need it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
And
that's incredible.
we just have to have people out there that are willing to willing to step up and help. I mean, it gets it gets kind of scary for some people to do stuff like that, and it's
Sure.
understandable. But once you make that step and you jump in and you see what kind of an impact you can have on somebody's life, it's amazing.
It is. It really is. And I've not been, me personally, I've not been involved with a whole lot of it. With the Rough and Ready crew, I support them real big. They do a Purple Hearts hunt every year. And the actual owner of Rough and Ready Outdoors, or the main host, Chase, uh, man, every time he comes back, he has this story of how, oh, this was what we did and we were hanging out and chit chatting, and then boom, the conversation gets real heavy, just heartfelt, and it's just like dang near both of us will be sitting there in tears talking about it, him being a military vet himself. And I'm telling you, I love hearing these stories, and especially with people that really are, they're not just kind of involved, they really truly are not just involved, but it's your lifestyle. That's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is, and it does take up a lot of your time. But you know what? I got plenty of time to be able to give back.
Right, right.
So
Well, yeah. Well, you said you served 26 years in the military. And then you did another 10 years training,
train
correct?
training soldiers, yes, sir. That's right.
I mean, so you've already spent a lot of time serving, and it seems like your entire life has been service. You know, laying down your life, laying aside your time to do this.
Well, that's what it is, and you know, like I said, I hate to say anything about recognition because that's not what it's about. That was what I was meant to do, and like I said, I didn't know what I was going to do after 30 something years of serving the army
Right.
and soldiers. So this just happened to be it, and I think I made a right choice, and I think I'm doing what God wants me to do. So
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's such a hard thing for people to grasp that concept of, I'm literally going to do what God wants me to do, because a lot of people nowadays, they're kind of this they're a Christian, but they're still gonna just kind of do what they want to do. And for somebody to say
right,
this was my calling and I stepped out and do it, that is Christ-like, to follow your calling, to go and serve, to go and do, to have that love for people that you don't even know. That is truly a godly example. I mean,
well,
I admire that myself.
yeah, I understand, and I always I've always believed in God, and I always believe things happen for a reason, and I always believe the Lord takes people because He's got a purpose for what He does. We just don't know what it is. Um, but I mean, I can't thank my best friend enough, who lives up in Arkansas where I hunt every year. He uh, he basically got me to thinking about about the Lord. And I don't consider myself, and I don't people don't take it the wrong way, but I'm not a fanatic.
Hmm.
I'm uh I'm not a crazy religious person. I do believe in God. I study the Bible every week. I try to do what God would want me to do, and do the right thing. And he helped me find my way to God. Not that I didn't already know who he was and believe in him, but
Right.
he got me there. And then the Iron Men Outdoor Ministries just kind of put me over the top with
Hmm.
service. You know, so that's what it's all about for me right now. And I got a 3-year-old grandbaby, and man, I can't wait for her to. I already got her 22 cricket sitting right in front of me, and
Oh, there you
she's
go.
got she got a starter compound bow already, and I'm so ready to go. Uh, but we just got to take life, as it comes, and handle ourselves. That's all.
That's it. You're absolutely right. One step at a time.
That definitely is the right answer, and maybe with the way some of us are, if we can get some people to realize that just because we don't agree with one another, or agree with each other's opinions, we can still respect each other and
Yes.
be good people with each other.
Absolutely. I think
You
that's such a hard part, and it's actually something when I'm talking to other content creators and things. That's one thing that it seems like it gets brought up every single time is if everybody would come together just to help each other out. Now, granted, I know you're in your realm, it's something totally different, but still the idea of being able to help each other out one person at a time, that is so important. And it seems to be in every content creator's mind, but it's getting people to actually step forward and do it. And when you do start seeing people do that, the results of that is incredible.
Yeah, it is. Uh, the Iron Men Outdoor Ministry is responsible for something called a Jesus coin.
Hmm.
Uh, Dean Dormany, his mother, came up with the idea for a Jesus coin. And this coin is a gold colored coin, and it's got Jesus Christ on the front of it. On the back of it, it has the Last Supper with the hand of God coming from up underneath the table.
Hmm.
And we pass those coins out to people that we don't know, and maybe they just need a little bit of uplifting. And one of the examples was, I pulled into a local feed store one day with my wife, and there was 3 ladies out front, and they were selling uh, jewelry and signs that were handmade. So I started talking to the lady, and she's like, "We run a woman and a men's home in Baker, which is right down the road from me,
Hmm.
and all this stuff here is made at the home that helps fund the home and helps fund the program that we do with men and women in need." And 2 of the ladies that were there working with her were actually enrollees into the home.
Mm.
And I went to my Jeep and I grabbed 3 coins, and I gave these coins to the ladies and just told them the history behind the coin, and told them that anything is possible with our Lord and Savior, and that He's always there for you, whether you think He is or not. And the sheer emotion, they started crying. And the one lady was actually the director of the home. It was all 3 of them got real emotional. And then that way, you just by touching somebody that way and make a difference in their life is hopefully what they need to push them over the top and regain whatever they lost and be successful out there in the world.
Right.
So you never really truly know what kind of an impact you're going to make on somebody, but those little acts of kindness probably will make the biggest difference in the world that you'll never see.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. You never know what somebody's truly going through, and just like you said, a simple act of kindness, I mean, that speaks volumes. And talking about this, I'm actually feeling compelled right now. I haven't talked to you about for our listeners, I have not talked to Festus about this yet, but this is something I want to offer, um, to see if it would be something y'all might be interested in. I know you'll probably have to talk to people or however, whatever, but I'm feeling really compelled to do this. We are actually getting Outdoor Genetics. We're gearing up to get ready to do a drawing for a young person under the age of 17 years old. And what it is a drawing for a bow. It comes with a bow, a hard case, a few arrows. We've got a deer feeder. We've got a set of binoculars. I believe we have a rangefinder. I believe we have a tree stand. We are actually wanting to give this all to one young person to make it their year, to just set it up, have them completely set up and ready to go. And if that is something that y'all would like to be a part of, I would love to have y'all a part of this as well.
That is awesome. That I will tell you, when you do that, it will be such a life altering event, not only for the child but for you as yourself, because the sheer excitement in looking at kids' eyes will move you to tears. And I've seen it firsthand, and that's what makes it everything worth it. You know, taking a veteran out, a disabled vet out, letting them harvest an animal, let them catch fish, to see the sheer excitement in their eyes and the looks on their faces, and they're out for 6 hours or they're out hunting for a couple days where they can basically forget about everything that's troubling them and be with people that went through what they went through. It's just, I can't explain. I can't put it into words. It's just something that will tug at your heartstrings real heavily.
It does. And man, like I said, that's part of the reason why I wanted to, and if y'all want to be a part of this, I would love for y'all to be a part of this. I mean, and it's not like, it kind of goes back to what you're saying, not needing the recognition or anything, but simply doing something that, like you said, will change somebody's life.
Yeah,
And
it's amazing. It truly is.
well, good. Yes, yes.
Here's an example. The team Alabama from the Fallen Outdoors, their state lead and several of their guys had been in contact with a fellow veteran in southern Alabama. I think he was maybe down just east of Mobile, but he was a little down and out, didn't have any way to bow hunt due to injuries and stuff. They came up with a bow. It was a used bow, I believe. I might be mistaken. It could have been a new bow. But either way, they came up with a bow, some arrows, the sights, everything. And they went and met this guy and donated a bow to him. And it's truly amazing to see what kind of an impact people can have in somebody else's life. There's plenty of vets out there that can't bow hunt with a compound bow. I have a hard
Right.
time. I had my shoulder reconstructed, so I do crossbow hunting. I can't tug on that compound bow like I used to.
Right.
But I'm telling you, to be able to make a difference in someone's life, you just don't know how much of an impact you're going to make, and it's all for the greater good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We were talking about organizations, and there's one that I didn't bring up, but the Disabled Outdoorsmen of America is another organization, and there's a real good American named AJ Coffey who is up from the northern end of Alabama. Whenever you hear me talk, I say Florida Panhandle and LA, and I don't mean Louisiana, and I don't mean Los Angeles. LA is commonly known as Lower Alabama, but
Okay.
he just became the he's up in Cullman, Alabama, if I'm not mistaken, but he just became the state lead for the Disabled Outdoorsmen USA Alabama, and it was an organization that was funded by a guy named Weston Jenkins, and he grew up hunting with a cousin of his who had muscular dystrophy and was in a wheelchair since he was 13.
Mm.
And his hope was to make sure that he was able to keep him out in the woods hunting, just as many of us want to make sure that we could keep these disabled kids out in the woods hunting and take their minds off of some of the things that they're going through. So it's all around when it comes to the vets and it comes to the children.
Man, that's incredible.
And, I'd like to extend an invitation to you. I know you like to film and I know you like to do content, but maybe on a future hunt, maybe the disabled children's hunt, or maybe our disabled veterans hunt, or even the disabled veteran fishing trip that's going to be in next year, I would like to probably invite you and come out and attend one of these events, film some content, do some interviews, talk to the vets, talk to the kids, and get a taste of it
I'm gonna tell you
yourself.
what.
And it
I will absolutely do that. I will be there 110%.
well, don't worry, we get plenty of events going. I definitely like to get you out on one of these events, and who knows, I might even get you to come out to Donaldsonville, Georgia, when we do the disabled vet and disabled children turkey hunt. I only live about 30 minutes from there. I'm right in that tri-state area
Uh huh.
where I'm at. So heck, it's nothing for me to leave the house, at dark 30. I'll leave at 3 or 4 in the morning and be there in 30 minutes and be ready to go. But we can do that one, or we can do the Ironman event. But I'd like to get you out on a couple of them so you could get a taste of it, and maybe just light that fire up even stronger for you.
Man, I would absolutely love that. I really would. Not only does that sound like a lot of fun, that sounds like a time to be able to, so to speak, put my best foot forward into the right field. You know what I mean?
Understand?
That sounds incredible, and I will definitely be happy to take you up on that offer. And I honestly bet I've got a couple of guys on the team that would absolutely love to be up there and to see all that in action.
Well, I'll tell you, the only thing we'd ask you to do if you come out is film it and then just let us have a copy of it so we can post it on whatever group's page the event you attend. Like the Ironman, you post, just give us some footage that we can post up to let everybody else see what we're doing. And same thing with the other groups. But we can make it happen.
Well, that's not a problem at all. That's the easy part.
And maybe one of y'all, we can let one of y'all sling some lead. Who knows?
Hey, it sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah, it's never a bad time. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And everybody always talks about, let's go hunt and let's do this, let's do that. That's a great thing, but it's not always about harvesting an animal.
That's
Harvesting
right.
an animal is just, it's icing on the cake.
That's right.
Being able to get outdoors in God's country and experience that with these children or these disabled veterans, where they can let their hair down and enjoy themselves. That's what it's really all about. It's therapy.
Yes.
It's outdoor therapy. And then if you get to take something, hey, that's even better.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, it is. Like you said, it's the
so
icing on the cake. That's the bonus. That's the harvesting of the animal is not the successful part.
no, it's not.
And
You
it's
know,
crazy. I said that I'm saying that right now, and it's funny because that idea has been brought up in the last over the last few guest speakers that we've had. Everybody has said that same thing. It's not about the harvest. Don't get me wrong. It's nice when it happens, but the hunting, the fishing, it's all about the camaraderie. It's all about the having fun. It's all about who you're with and why you're out there.
that's exactly right. And I'll tell you right now, when you come out and you go to one of these events and these veterans see, and these disabled children, special needs children see how much people really care about them, that just goes a long way.
Oh, I bet it does. I bet it just I could only imagine. I mean, not being in that kind of situation, I could only imagine what they feel at that moment in time.
Right. And like I said, there's one other group that I want to mention who was a big contributor to us last year.
Hmm.
And I'm drawing a blank right now. They were called Purple Heart Adventures. And unfortunately, they were sued by somebody about the name, so they had to make a name change. And I cannot find them on the computer right now. But they are out of up north in the Jersey area. Tom Kalaris, who is the founder of that group, they do stuff for vets as well, and they they go as far as getting a disabled veteran. And let's say they have a fishing trip coming up this year in Alaska. They take the vet, and it's an all expense paid trip. The veteran pays nothing. He gets to go on a plane to Alaska, gets to go hunting or fishing. They get mounts, they bring it back. I mean, it's totally amazing with what they do. Some of these trips are 20 grand easy. and they have sponsors that donate, that help out, that are just, it just blows your mind where this money comes from. And it just goes to show you that there are a lot of great Americans out there that are willing to help put events together and fund things with sponsorship and donations to help disabled children and disabled veterans. But the problem always is that people are very apprehensive about asking. The answer is always no if you don't ask.
That's true.
You just have to get up the courage and walk in and say, "Hey, this is what we do. This is what we're about, and we want to know if you want to be a part of it." And you have to have somebody that has a lot of passion when they go out and ask for these things.
Sure.
And the Purple Heart Adventures was nice enough last year to purchase, I think they purchased 30 pair of Vortex binoculars.
Wow.
And each disabled child and each disabled vet that hunted with Ironman last year were given a backpack. And in the backpack, it had knives, it had calls, it had binoculars. You just name it. It was a bag full of hunting stuff. And, they show up, they get this, and they use it when they hunt. We had rangefinders. We just had all kind of stuff that we gave away. But, we can't do it without organizations like that.
Right.
So, hey, it's out there. People, if you're interested in trying to figure out how to do it, you can always get a hold of me. Message me on Facebook, and I'll tell you how I do it. We have examples of letters we submit to major companies and corporations looking for donations because it's out there. Believe me, they want to give it. Now, the big key is if you're dealing with a 501c3 is you always follow up with, "Hey, I have a tax donation letter that'll let you use this as a tax write-off."
Right.
And that helps out the company a lot.
Yes. And then on top of that, they're getting to do their part on helping.
Exactly. Like with the Purple Heart Adventures team, they donated to us last year. One of their members, who is their ambassadors, was able to come and partake in the disabled children's hunt and see what it was all about. And then just this month, or I should say last month, when we had the fishing trip, she was invited to come back out and go on the fishing trip, and she had a blast. So we always invite whoever is involved as a sponsor and making donations to come out and participate in a trip so they get to see what their donations or sponsorship goes to.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, and like you said, that gives them a chance to see it. I mean, that's just, I'm sure for them, that's just solidifying everything. You know what I mean? I mean, that's incredible.
Exactly. And I mean, we get a lot of donations and sponsors that people don't show up or they don't come out and participate. And that's fine too. But it's nice to see a sponsor come out. Like here at the banquet, we had, I think we had 60 tables, and the tables were $750 a piece. Mm-hmm. And a sponsor comes with a guest of theirs. They get to go to the banquet. They sit down at the table. They have 8 or 10 veterans sitting with them at the table, and they get to break bread and have some fellowship and talk to veterans and get that experience. And then they go out the next day and go fishing with the veterans. So awesome. It is an awesome way to get our communities involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Festus, we're setting right at about an hour. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Man, I can't.
Yeah, retired life is tough, man. I mean, every day is like a Saturday to me or a Friday. I just do what I want when I want. So.
Man, it must be rough, man.
It is. It's horrible, but I'm the kind of guy that's willing to take one for the team. So it's okay. I got you.
Team player right there.
I am definitely.
Well, Festus,
but
man,
hey, look.
Go ahead.
I really want you to know that my offer is sincere. If you ever want to come out to Festus Land, you're more than welcome to come out. You can bring your family. We can hang out here and do some things. If it's hunting season, we'll hunt. If it's not, we'll go fishing. We'll go down to the beach. And then I'd love to have you come out. And if you want to bring a couple of your guys to come out, and maybe we could put some guys in different locations to do filming. And, I want you to come out and experience it.
No, that sounds incredible to me. Like, literally, that sounds absolutely incredible.
Well, the invitation's there. It's your choice whether you take it or not.
Well, you might as well go ahead and at least count me in. And like I said, I'm sure I have a couple other people on the team that would, I mean, honestly, love to be a part of that, I guess is the best way to put it.
Okay, well, we can make it happen. As long as you're willing to come, we'll make it happen.
Absolutely. Festus, thank you again for jumping onto this podcast. I'm telling you, like I said, like I've told you before we were starting this kind of stuff, it's heartfelt, it's raw, it's real, and we are very appreciative for people like you and the groups that you're a part of and everything that y'all do for these people. It is absolutely incredible. And with that, thank you for all your years of service. That is one thing. I know you don't ask for gratification, but for me personally, that is something that I am very thankful for. Coming from a military family, that is something that I am very thankful for. So thank you very much.
Hey, and like I said, if anybody's out there listening and they want to get involved, hit me up on Facebook. I'll steer you in the right direction, let you get out there and try to make a difference and be part of this amazing thing. And, you know, I got to thank one group of people. I got a lot of people that are friends on Facebook, a lot that I've never met, some that I have. There's a lot of them that have donated to these veterans hunts and these children hunts. And they're great Americans as well. And I feel bad if I didn't say that about them, but I don't want to name individual names because I don't want to leave somebody out.
Sure.
All right. Well, hey, John, I'm always here. You ever want to talk, holler at me. You want to come down, I'll cook you some food. I'm a big boy. I know how to cook. We can lay some smoke down in the backyard and have fun, man.
Man, that sounds like a fantastic time. And like I said, you've done threatened me with a good time, and I'm probably going to take you up on it. So,
all right. Well, come get some.
Absolutely, certainly will. Guys, thanks for checking out this podcast. Guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notification so that you will be notified whenever we go to upload more content. Once again, Festus, thank you very much. And everybody, I hope you all have a great evening, and we will be seeing y'all next time.